You're listening to the Happy Tracks podcast. In this episode, I reveal 5 questions that are worth asking yourself when everything feels like it's going to shit. You're going to want to take some notes in this one. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Taylor, founder of the travel blog Taylor's Tracks, personal development junkie, and pursuer of happiness. I help women have breakthrough experiences so that you can live a happier and healthier life that is so good you won't need a vacation from it. I believe that happiness is an inside job, so this podcast is dedicated to delivering weekly actionable tips that combine spirituality, personal development, and well-being practices that will help you live your best life, find pure joy every day, and realize your true power. Are you ready to meet your best self? Let's get started. This is the Happy Tracks podcast.
Hello, lovelies. I'm so glad to be back. Last week I didn't have an episode because, my world felt like it was absolutely crashing down around me. And when I'm in that state, I am no way prepared or mentally capable of dishing out all the goods that I have learned. And I don't want to bring that kind of energy to you guys. So I would rather you have less content that is really high vibe and worth you listening to than me trying to force out shit content, because there's a lot of that on the internet and I'm not about it. So to get into today's episode, I know that there are a lot of people with this whole COVID pandemic situation who feel like they are questioning absolutely everything in their lives. And I did a little bit in the beginning. I was like, yeah, okay, why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. Universe has got a plan. No. Following along with all my personal development, spirituality stuff. And then last week, it just really hit me. And I started questioning not all stuff about COVID and the state of the world right now, but just in my own life, I started questioning everything in regards to personal development and spirituality, and got to this place where I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I doing this podcast? Why am I writing about this? Started questioning all my mentors, started questioning every single thing I learned. Like, why do I talk to my angels? Does meditation actually help me? Or is this all just bullshit? Do things actually happen for a reason? Is there a universe? Is there anything else out there? Or am I just going fucking crazy? In this place, if you've been there, it doesn't have to be specifically with personal development and spirituality. It can be just anywhere in your life where you feel like you just start questioning everything, where you feel like you start questioning the things that you once really truly believed, and that those things really acted as your base. They helped make you solid. When you start shifting your base, when you start shifting your belief that everything else in your life you have built on, that is a dark and scary place to be. And I'm sorry if you've ever had to go there. I know now it's not a nice place. But the good news is that you don't gotta stay there. Do I think it's necessary to go through these things? Do I think it's healthy to have points in your life where you question things? Abso-freaking-lutely. But if you're in this dark place right now, if you're really questioning everything, the one thing I want to say to you, or a couple things. One is that breakdowns often, usually, lead to breakthroughs. So do not let your lowest moments, your questioning moments, define your entire life, your entire year, whatever time period you're looking at. Remember, just because things have happened this year, just because 2020 feels like it's going to fucking shit, this is just 1 year, you guys. It hasn't even been the full year. For some people, they've been affected since January. I know my business has, even before that. For some people, they weren't really hit in like North America until maybe March. So just realize that all of this hasn't even been a year. We do not have to write off all of 2020. There is still plenty of time. So take a look at your life as a whole and recognize that your darkest parts, your questioning parts, are just parts. And I really, truly, and honestly believe that we have to have lower moments, lower periods, lower phases in order to experience the really, really good. The love, the happiness, the joy, the big life realizations, those aha moments. Because without those low moments, without having the duality between good and bad, low and high, how are we supposed to understand when we're having a high moment? How are we supposed to understand when we're feeling really freaking good? So understand that these moments of questioning, of feeling really, really confused, are just a part of life. They're just a part of being human, and know that you're going to come out stronger on the other side. So I just wanted to give that little bit of a pep talk, just in case anyone really, really needed it. And if you don't feel it yet, just go back and re-listen to that. So when you're questioning everything, it may seem kind of counterproductive to ask yourself more questions, which is what this episode title is, the best questions to ask yourself when you're questioning everything. But time and time again, I have heard from countless mentors that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask. If you're asking, I don't want to say the wrong questions, but if you're asking questions that are not beneficial to you, that are not helping you, that are maybe degrading even to yourself, those are not great questions, and you're not going to be able to move forward or grow from them. They're just going to make you feel more shitty. Like questions like, what's wrong with me? How are you gonna use that question to help make you feel better when you're already starting from a negative viewpoint? How about, instead of questioning what's wrong with you, ask yourself, where am I right now? Or what are some habits that I can see that are holding myself back? Where can I improve myself? Where can I take a look at myself and improve on my self-worth? There's nothing wrong with you. There's just something wrong with the questions that you're asking yourself. So, when life feels like it's going to shit, these 5 questions, I believe, are really, really important to ask yourself. And yes, there will probably be periods where you don't think about these questions at all because you're just soaking in your own misery. That's fine. Soak all you want and be unhappy as you want, but recognize when it's time to get out. It may be an hour or two, maybe a few minutes of sulking. It may be a week. A month is a pretty long time. A year. For me, I just got out of a week and a half-ish funk. And I was like, all right, Taylor, it is time for you to stop feeling so fucking sorry for yourself and actually do something. Take a look at your life, start analyzing some shit. Let's start asking the right questions instead of, oh, why is this happening to me? Is there a reason behind all of this? I started questioning if there was a reason for everything. And then, you can go down some crazy freaking rabbit holes. So these 5 questions I think are really important. Write them down if you got to. Make some notes, because you can go back to maybe the notes in your phone and be able to look at these questions and kind of help get you more centered, more grounded, coming back down to earth, out of your head, and more into your body. So the first question is, do I truly need a break from my regular life routine, thoughts, whatever it is? Do you actually need to give yourself a break? Because when you're questioning everything, it is so mentally exhausting, do you need to just turn off? And I know a lot of self-improvement, personal development people will say that you shouldn't ever really turn off, but I completely disagree with that. There are times in your life where you need to turn off, turn on the TV, turn on some music, get outside, whatever it is you need to do to just get yourself out of your head, out of this mood and funk and whatever it is that you're constantly questioning and just spinning around in your mind. Distract yourself for a little bit. Do you need to get out of your head? Because being self-aware, being so self-aware can absolutely be mentally exhausting. And though it's really important and a really fabulous freaking tool to have in your toolbox, I don't think we need to be self-aware every second of every day of our lives. It's a lot. It is absolutely a lot, and we are humans. We are not robots. So ask yourself, do you truly need a break from what you're going through right now? And how can you give yourself that break? Now, the second question, can I see this, what's happening right now, in a different light or from a new perspective? Are you able to shift how you're looking at things and stop saying poor me, stop playing the victim, and start looking at it as something that's happening for you instead of to you? This is not, is there a meaning behind all of this? This is, am I looking at this too negatively? Am I looking at this like a bigger problem than it actually is? Am I looking at this in a way that could be seen in a better way? Ask yourself, can you shift your perspective and see things in a new light? This can be a game changer that can happen instantaneously. Third question you can ask yourself is this serving me in any way, or am I self-sabotaging? Because yes, self-sabotaging comes up in so many different ways, and I truly believe that questioning everything can be a form of self-sabotage to keep you where you are and playing small. Ask yourself, is playing small serving you in any way? Is it keeping you safe? That is a lot of the times what the answer is. Is it serving you in a good or bad way, though? I hate to label things as good or bad, but you get my gist. Is it helping you to get where you want to go, or is it helping to hold you back? How is all these questionings, this place that you're in, serving you? Maybe it's serving you in the way that is telling you to slow down. Take notice. Everything you do is serving you in some way. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. Figure it out. Fourth question you can ask yourself is, what has helped me in the past? And am I still doing that? What tools and techniques have worked really well for you? Maybe you've got some habits that you've let fall away. Is it time to go back to them? Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's EFT tapping, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's walking, maybe it's moving your body at a certain time of the day. Whatever tools you were using before, whatever was helping you before, if you're not doing it right now, maybe it's worth bringing it back in. And if you feel like you just need a fresh perspective, something different, you just really want to shake things up, figure out what it is you need to do to try. Personally, this week, I completely shifted my morning routine. I got up and I listened to myself, and I was so excited to dive straight into work. So fuck my morning routine. I started working right away, and I felt really, really good. Though that was something that I had dropped over a year ago. I stopped doing that because I thought that it was hurting me. This past week, that just so happened to be what I needed. And now I'm listening to my body again and being like, no, okay, this morning I need to slow down a little bit. I need to get myself together before I throw myself into work. The difference was I was doing really easy work that was okay and fast for me to just bang out, whereas now I'm doing work that requires a little bit more creativity, and I notice that I need that space. So ask yourself, are there habits that you've used in the past that have been good for you? Where can you bring them back in? What has helped you in the past? Maybe it was reading a book, maybe it was listening to a podcast. What worked for you before? Only you know the answer. And the fifth and final question is, can I recognize that this is a low moment and tell myself that this too shall pass? Can you give yourself the space and the time to reflect on that this moment, this time does not define your day, your week, your life? Do not let it, because it is not your life. It is not your week. It is not your day. You have the power to switch your mood any second. And when you're in a funk, when you're questioning everything, yeah, it may seem like you absolutely do not have the power or control to do that, but you can. And if it's going to take you a couple days, maybe even a couple of weeks to get back to that moment or to that spot where you realize that, oh, this is just a phase. This is something I can get through. Because what you get through, you grow through. So I'll ask again, can you recognize that this is a low moment and tell yourself that this too shall pass? Because if you're willing to let it pass, it absolutely will. I hope these 5 questions really allow you to get to a place of comfort, a place where there's more peace, a place where you can feel a little bit more whole, a little bit more human, a little bit okay, even if you don't feel like you're fully okay right now. You can do anything that you put your mind to. You can realize anything when you ask the right questions. I hope this episode absolutely served you and that you're able to get some value out of it. If you believe someone else needs to hear this message or needs this little pep talk, I'd be so grateful if you shared it with them. I'm sure they would be too. As always, you can find more content on taylorstracks.com. I'm actually back to blogging, so you can find lots on yoga retreats and self-love right now. That's what I'm focusing mostly on, and updating lots of travel content for when that part of life returns. If you love this podcast or this episode, please share it and tag me on Instagram at Taylor's Tracks. Leave me a review. I am always so grateful for them, and I read every single one. And remember, the quality of your life is based on the quality of questions you ask. Have an absolutely fantastic freaking day, you beautiful, beautiful soul. I'll talk to you again soon.